There's a question many ask in silence but few dare to say out loud. Who really pulls the strings of the world? Governments come and go. Presidents rise and fall. Parliaments argue, laws shift. But the most important decisions, the ones that shape humanity's future, aren't made in Congress or at the ballot box. They're made behind closed doors in soundproof rooms by families so ancient and powerful, they barely show their faces. They say real power is invisible. And if that's true, then what we're about to explore isn't politics, it's architecture. The architecture of power. Because behind the curtains of democracy, the stock market, and international diplomacy, there exists a silent elite, composed of bloodlines that have influenced wars, religions, economies, and revolutions for generations. They've been called many names: the world masters, the illuminated ones, the invisible council. But many know them simply as the Club of 13. The concept is simple and disturbing. There are 13 family bloodlines, some dating back centuries, who have built a global network of intergenerational power. They are not just rich. They own central banks, multinational corporations, media empires, pharmaceutical conglomerates, arms manufacturers, elite universities, and so-called humanitarian NGOs. They control money, information, ideology, and with it, the present and the future. Some of their names are well-known: Rothschild, Rockefeller, Windsor, but others remain in the shadows. DuPont, Orsini, Lee, Warburg, Russell, Astor, Kuhn, Habsburg, Van Dyne, Hanover, Bundy. 13 surnames. 13 clans. 13 invisible seats at the table where the fate of the planet is quietly decided. The story of the Rothschilds is perhaps the most iconic. A banking dynasty that began in 18th century Frankfurt with Mayor Amschel Rothschild, who sent his 5 sons to establish banking branches in the major capitals of Europe: London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, Frankfurt. Together, they created the world's first multinational financial network. They financed wars, crowned kings, rescued nations, all without firing a single bullet. Their true weapon was debt. It said that when Europe went to war, the Rothschilds financed both sides. Not out of ideology but strategy. Chaos breeds profit. Reconstruction breeds dependency. Today, their descendants still operate from the shadows, influencing the IMF, World Bank, and central banks through complex networks of financial holdings. The Rockefellers, on the other hand, dominated oil, steel, and modern medicine. John D. Rockefeller founded Standard Oil, the most powerful corporation of its time. Later, through philanthropic foundations, they reshaped medical education, pushed pharmaceutical agendas, funded eugenics programs, and helped create institutions like the UN and the CFR, Council on Foreign Relations, all while maintaining a humanitarian image. The Windsors, Britain's royal family, are far more than symbolic. Their lineage, once known as Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, has deep German roots and ties to royal and banking houses across Europe. Their influence extends through the Commonwealth, MI6, and discrete geopolitical alliances. But the network is not just Western. The Lee family, for instance, is deeply embedded in Asian finance and politics. Rumors link them to the Chinese Communist Party and tech giants that now shape the global digital future. And the list continues. DuPont's in chemicals, Warburg's in German banking and the Federal Reserve, Russell's tied to Skull and Bones, Astor's with massive real estate empires and Masonic ties. They are not simply families. They are living power structures crossing borders, protecting each other, sometimes competing, but never losing control. These families don't operate like governments. They don't legislate, they influence. They don't vote, they fund candidates. They don't appear on TV, they own the networks. They don't need to declare wars, they provoke them through intermediaries. Their presence isn't obvious, but their imprint is everywhere. Behind global agreements, climate summits, economic reforms, pandemics, social movements. And when something escapes their control, they silence it, ridicule it, or redirect it. They've infiltrated universities, religions, global institutions. They don't need to sit in office, they sponsor those who will. Many ask, why 13? Why not 5 or 20? The answer lies in symbolism. Throughout history, 13 has been linked to hidden power, bloodline, rebellion, and elite control. In tarot, it represents death, not an end, but transformation. In Freemasonry, it signifies a revolt against imposed order. In esoteric circles, it marks the secret circle, the unseen council. 13 clans, 13 pillars, 13 names that appear and disappear like shadows, signing treaties no one sees, inheriting not just wealth but missions. And what is that mission? Some say to maintain global balance. Others say to dominate it entirely. Over time, they have created discrete societies like the Illuminati, Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission, the Club of Rome. In those meetings where no press, no cameras, no courts are allowed, decisions are made that shape your life without your knowledge. Is it a coincidence their names aren't in school textbooks? Is it a coincidence every global crisis seems to benefit the same sectors? Is it really paranoia to think that what happens in parliaments is just theater for the masses? You may not know this, but in every chaotic moment in modern history, the fall of Lehman Brothers, 9/11, the 2020 pandemic, one thing remained consistent. They didn't lose power. They gained more. The word apocalypse means revelation. And this is one of the most uncomfortable truths. The world is not governed by who you think. True authority isn't elected. It isn't questioned. It isn't stopped. But here's another truth. Nothing stays hidden forever. In every generation, there are those who choose to see, to understand, to resist. Their networks are deep, but their power depends on silence. And when that silence breaks, even dynasties tremble. Get ready, not to fight them with weapons but with awareness. Because knowledge is the crack through which the light always enters. The Club of 13 hasn't disappeared. The Club of 13 still rules.